Right.
Not for that.
There you go.
I think it's. But legislation.
Then do we have- The meeting will come to order. Please stand for the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The borough has completed with the notice provisions of the Sunshine Law by adopting prior to January 10th of this year a resolution describing the dates, times, and locations of all regular meetings commissioned. This meeting is one of the meetings listed in such resolution, and copies of the resolution were by January 10th filled with the borough clerk.
Sorry, this meeting. One moment.
Yeah. Surely it's only through the shade walk downstairs. The house office in there.
September 2nd, 2025, or initiate, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay, I need a motion to file the following reports, municipal court and zoning.
So moved.
And I also need a motion to file the minutes from June 2025.
So moved.
We have second reading and public hearing of ordinance 1830, sorry.
This is the subdivision ordinance?
The 1813, we're not going to be, I apologize, I missed the question. 1813, we're not going to be reading the second word.
Right, it's right, we're gonna carry it over to the next.
So I'll make a motion that we table this. This is noted that the public hearing will be held at our next meeting.
October 6th.
October 6th. Okay, Hal?
Okay, and that's just the motion.
It's a motion, you should second, yeah.
I mean, a second.
Okay.
And this was just to explain, essentially, there was still some paperwork that needed to come through in order for this to be a second reading, so that's why you'll see in October.
Then we have the first reading. Ordinance 1814, amending Borough Code, Chapter 141-13, escrow fees.
I just want to explain this real quick firsthand. So essentially what happens when you have to do construction to your property and you need approval from the construction or the zoning office, you're asked to put some money in escrow, which pays the engineers, the different officials who make sure that your property is being worked on in a way that's not going to burn down the town. And we set aside money for that. The fee schedule for that has not changed in a very long time. This is not going to increase what it costs. It's just how much is going to be in escrow, because what's been happening for the past couple of years is that there's a back and forth, because once you've used all your escrow fee money, the inspector should not continue. So it slows down your project, it slows down everything at our office. And so this way, there's just more in the bank at the beginning so that the process can move faster. And if there is more paid into it, there will be a refund. We looked at Cherry Hill, Oakland, Woodland, and one other borough to compare and use the rates. So all of our rates are within line with those, and this is just adjusting that.
Commissioner Manley?
Is a, yes, on first reading.
First
right?
reading,
Yep,
yeah.
yes.
Second reading will be in, October 6th. Commissioner Henderson Riley? Yes. Mayor Solano Ward?
Yes.
Okay. We have the first reading of ordinance 1815, amending chapter 57, organization of police department.
So this one, I don't believe we have it in our packet, but it was added. You may have the copies if you'd like it in front of you. These are some changes to the borough code. There are some discrepancies in chapter 57 regarding authority in the police department, and a couple of duplications. In addition, this expands the number of officers. We are not planning to do that at the moment, but expands the size of the department. So in the future, if we wish to do so, that would get that visible.
It also changes language from, policeman to patrol officer to, so to have, inclusive language. And.
Commissioner Manley,
Yes.
Commissioner Anderson Riley,
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
Okay, we have the first reading of ordinance 1816, amending Borough Code, Chapter 167, flood damage prevention.
So essentially what this is doing is if you're gonna be building in a area prone to flooding and you're on the flood map, there's going to be an escrow required so we can do proper environmental investigations to make sure that whatever you build there is not going to sink or face other issues. And this is in line with state standards when you're building in a floodplain. So we're just updating our code to the flood map.
Commissioner Manley,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
We have the first reading of ordinance 1817, appropriating $625,000 from the Sewer Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a combination vacuum jetter.
This is as sexy as it sounds. This is to make sure that sewer does not run in the streets. We have one vehicle that does this already, but it's, and there's two. The second one is just being held together very well by our dedicated DPW crew, but it's time for a new one because we have a lot of old pipes. And, you don't want that truck to be late to pick you up or to come do to do work on your home. So that's what this is for.
Commissioner Manley,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
Okay, we have the first reading of ordinance 1818, commercial and educational filming in the Borough of Collinswood.
So in order to be on Film Ready, New Jersey, which is the state site for all of the places that, a studio or producers or anything like that want to film, we have to adopt this ordinance, which would then put us on the map, give us some protections. As well as, make sure that we can get proper fees and understand what is needed from our police department, just to make sure that we don't obstruct and have kind of plan for whatever filming could happen.
Commissioner Manley,
Thanks to Lindsay for putting this together. I know this is a big project to get on the state list. Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
Yes.
and Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
And we have the first reading of ordinance 1819, adopting amendments to the rules and regulations of the Borough of Collinswood Police Department.
This allows those folks working at the police department to have facial hair. And this is a change to the department rules for request from the patrol officers there.
Okay, Commissioner Manley,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
Yes.
Mayor Solana Ward.
Yes.
And we have the first reading of bond ordinance 1820, authorizing the completion of the construction of the new water treatment facilities for the Borough of Collinswood, appropriating the sum of $26,500,000.
So this is authorizing the funds for the construction, basically of a new water plant at Hillcrest down at the pool. It will be a new facility. There'll be new buildings that will be built down at the pool. We need to do this in order to keep our water supply compliant with new federal standards on PFAS, on the what they refer to as the press as forever chemical. And the 26.5 number, it's a big number, but we are working through the state's infrastructure bank in order to secure all the funding that we can. There's a couple different other programs at the state level that allow us to apply for funding for the design. The design of this is $2 to $3 million. It's a substantial expense. So we're hoping that at the end of this, we're actually going to need to charge ratepayers less than half of what that total number is going to be. But we need to appropriate it. We need to get it started. Work is underway on the design. And we'll keep you all posted.
And just to be clear, the water is fine now.
Water's
You can
fine
drink
now.
The water.
It's running all on temporary, temporary charcoal filters. They're expensive and, we need a new plant. Our plant is dated. And we need a new plant in order to ensure that for decades to come, we can maintain, our water supply as it is.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Mealy,
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson Riley,
Yes,
and Mayor Solana Wood.
Yes.
Do we have any public comment on the resolution?
Do we have any comment on any of the resolutions we're about to go through? We'll open it up again at the end, once you've heard about the resolution.
Appointing Emmett Lova. Lobanow, thank you, sorry about that, as a part-time circulation and reference assistant for the Collingswood Library.
yes,
Yes,
Authorizing the bid for a combination sewer vacuum jetter.
yes,
yes,
Authorizing the bid for ambulance services.
yes.
Yeah. Authorizing refund of tax overpayment for 209 East Palmer.
yes,
Yes.
Approving a resolution of support for the NJDOT Route 30 to Grove Street project.
yes, yes,
Approving a resolution of support for the Green Amendment to the New Jersey State Constitution.
yes,
Authorizing construction administration services and fees for the Conley Avenue Water Treatment Plant upgrades.
yes,
And approving payment of bills as presented by the CFO.
yes.
Yes.
All right.
So we'll open it back up to public comment. Now you've heard of the resolutions. If there's anything anybody would like to make a comment about, ask a question about, this is your moment.
Resolutions for this weekend.
In general, yeah.
I got some. Tom Eldon, 530 Head. Back in June, you had your information session for the immigrant and trans communities. And I was just wondering if there was any community feedback from that session?
I personally received a few emails thanking us for holding that.
Okay. And do you view that as you were able to reach those communities or?
It's hard to know for sure, right? Immigrant communities, especially at this time, may be fearful of coming to such events. So we purposely recorded it and had it online. I'm not sure how many times it's been viewed online, but we had that so that folks could watch afterwards. But we didn't have, formal program evaluation.
Right.
And we have had some of the leadership from Camden Indivisible reach out about, appreciating the program, and since we had it recorded and it's still available, that's a resource they can point to. So that's about as much feedback as we got.
In regards to the Scottish Rite, did the Scottish Rite charge you for that event? And if so, how much?
I wouldn't think so.
No, okay,
No, this is a borough affiliated event.
okay, all right. Let's see here. On August 10th, I think it was Sunday morning or Saturday morning. There were approximately 5 instances of break-ins along Haddon Avenue. And I was just curious as to, is there any comment or any action being taken to, try to prevent these kind of happenings?
House break-ins?
No,
It's vehicle.
Vehicles?
yeah, yep, smashed windows, smashed mirrors, stuff like that.
It happens from time to time, all parts of the borough, not just the avenue.
Mhm.
And Kevin, you want to, sorry.
So our detectives look at trends and then push out patrol directives to see what areas are being hit. We concentrate on those areas for specific times. Haddon Avenue is standing out to me as one of those general areas, as much as it may be happening all over town. It's important to note that it's not just Collingswood. Camden County has seen an increase in stolen, and really New Jersey has seen an increase in stolen. So
Right.
our detective bureau is aware of it, and we do work with patrol, but we are saturated there to that, see it, and take it.
Okay, in regards to communication about instances like that to the community, to make the community feel safe. I'd like to ask why there's no police blotter.
So we have communicated, through social media. The last time we did was we saw a very unusual spike in vehicle thefts. I think there were 8 in a matter of 10 days. And that's, I don't know the specifics on that, but, when we see very unusual spikes in normal crime trends, that's when we will notify the public about something. As a reminder to my people.
Right. And the reason I ask is I kind of wondered why I couldn't find anything. Like online or in a paper, anything like that. And like on Facebook, Washington Township Police Department, they do a weekly synopsis. And basically have all the arrests that were made, all, you know, everything, even if it's like a wellness check, something like that. And they publish it every week. And I don't see that here. And I was just kind of curious as to why that doesn't happen.
Is it Washington Township?
Mhm.
Okay, that's interesting, something to consider.
I can show you. There's, it's very nice. They do, but
What benefit do you see of advertising every police contact that's made
wait, okay.
in a week?
Okay, so my question to you is, how will it not benefit the community by doing so?
Well, I think it causes people great concerns that they really don't need to have, because we're not dealing in
Well,
that all the time.
that's your
If you're
determination.
not, let me finish my answer,
Okay.
okay? If you're not dealing in this world where like bad things happen,
Mhm.
okay? That notice that goes out to the public, sometimes that thwarts that investigation, that stops the ability of the police to address the issue,
Mhm.
okay? So that's all, I was just wondering, so you don't, the reason is like, if I don't have a good reason not to do it, we should do it.
Well, I think for public safety, people need to know what's going on. You know, I only found out because 2 of the smash and whatever it was, were my next door neighbor.
I think there's maybe a middle ground where it might be some sort of a monthly recap, and maybe not something that gets pushed out like in a nixle or anything, but maybe something we can put on social media. It's worth, we'll definitely take a look at Washington Township and see what it looks like. I think a weekly, I do see the concern about just being a little more alarmist than we need to, but at the same time, wanting to know what's happening, maybe a monthly
Right.
would be a middle ground.
Yeah, I come from the corporate world. I'm in service delivery. Communication is my world. Okay, and like when I hear things, like when I bring something to you and you don't know anything about it. My first thing is, are Kevin and you talking? Okay, and to me, like on Monday morning, you should have a 15-minute touch point with Kevin. What happened over the weekend?
We do, every Monday.
Okay,
We have a meeting every Monday with
Okay.
our departments, and, and Chief Joyce and Chief Carrier on that call, and let us know about the big happenings and things that we should be aware of, and, likewise, we get those
Yeah.
things in the moment as they're happening, are your thing.
I'm just concerned because I brought up 2 different things and you didn't know about both of them, and that's why I asked that question.
I'd like to respond if that's okay. So the police department does submit to us and to me as Director of Public Safety a monthly report. So I do know all of those numbers. I don't get, a download on every single incident, but we do know what those numbers are across all of the statistics across the department. So those are being collected. We do really appreciate the feedback, as the communication, of course, is key. And finding that balance between wanting people, of course, to feel safe, and also not amplifying mis and disinformation on the internet, right? And it's actually going to be later in my comments. There's a lot of information that's, across Facebook groups, much of which is inaccurate.
Right.
So why don't we take this? We do really appreciate it, and we'll take this and we'll discuss and
Yeah, and the other part of it was basically justification for Kevin to maybe get more equipment or more officers in. And if that information isn't being communicated, it's kind of hard to sell that to the public when they don't have that information. So that's another reason behind it. So, thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right, seeing no, Yeah, we have, Jim, you want to?
Just that, I don't know if I'm stealing other people's thunder, but Saturday at noon is the opening of the Pocket Park. It's only taken 30 years and about $85 million to get there, but we're there. From the beginning, when we bought that property to where we are now, it's gonna be a great use. We're hoping to get Sarah's all set in there as quickly as possible. But the Pocket Park will be opening at noon sharp. And will be it'll be open so that folks can come up and use it and enjoy it. Thanks to Sandy Kelly who's involved. I want to thank, Morgan and, Rob, our colleagues for like getting it all started and rock and roll with it. And, DPW has helped with a bunch of it. And, we're really looking forward to getting that space open. That's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Sure. So I have several items. The first is I wanted to highlight again, office hours that I'm holding on Friday morning. So that's where you can bring information to us, and I want to thank the residents. So every week I've had several folks come. As an example, some folks that come recently, talking to me about people who are experiencing homelessness. I've also personally received several emails on this issue, and so for those who know me and those who don't, I'm a researcher and I work in public health, and the topic of homelessness is very near and dear to me. Arresting people is not an evidence-based or an effective solution. And I wanted to remind folks that here in Collins, we have a great response team at our police department that includes members from the Volunteers of America, and they can refer to services, housing, and support, which are effective, more evidence-based solutions than jail time and fines. So I would encourage us as a community to work and come together to take care of those among us who may be experiencing homelessness. This is back to school week, so I'm really excited and looking forward to joining my fellow commissioners and school leaders, and wish all of the students well this week as you head back to school on Thursday. The Clover Market is coming back on September 21st, so for those who love that experience, be sure to mark your calendar. In addition, before we see you again at this meeting in September is Porch Fest and the Porch West event that's happening the night before, and as well as the book festival. So lots of great events and opportunities to be out and about in town. We have a new edition of the Town Crier coming out. So be sure to check that out, and Staff Spotlight with some folks who actually happen to be in the room tonight. As Jim mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, we do have new equipment. So we have an owl for those who may be online. Hopefully this is improving your experience of joining these meetings. And I wanted to mention in terms of communications that for the residents' comment, we've observed an increase in reporting through social media. And I'd like to remind the public that in case of emergency, you should call 911. And for non-emergency police matters, that number is 856-854-1900. Facebook is often just not the best way to report this information, so please call the non-emergency number if you have something for the police department. In addition, our borough numbers and email addresses are on our website, and you can reach out to our excellent borough staff as well as the three of us. And finally, I'd like to conclude my remarks with a call to action and how to get involved. I'd like to encourage local civic participation and have, as we like to say, more people under the tent. So first, I wanted to say thank you to those folks who applied for the Police Chiefs Advisory Committee. That application is now closed. I believe the chief received at least 5 applications, and more information about those folks will be soon. The Snowball Gala is looking for volunteers. We mentioned this at last month's meeting as well. So Lindsay Ferguson is looking for a fundraising and decor committee. And breaking news, the date for that event will be January 24th. So be sure to mark your calendars for your fancy clothes and a great night out for a good cause. Finally, the borough is looking for a communications intern. We are looking for someone who is currently enrolled in an institution of higher education. This individual will be working with Lindsay Ferguson on events, publications, the town app, which we have coming soon, website, etc. This is a paid opportunity. So if you're watching and you know a college student, someone who might be interested, please have them contact Lindsay Ferguson at the borough for a paid fall communications internship. Thank you.
Thank you. So now that school is starting on Thursday, I will begin my office hours starting next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 12 in Borough Hall. Check in with Pauline. Head up the spiral staircase where I'll come down and meet you if there's accessibility issues. And then, starting September 18th, I'll also be having office hours on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 7:30 in the library for people who work and can't come in during the day. Because the library, September is library card month, so children 5 and older get the library card. Religious books, there's free classes, jobs, resources, homework help, streaming media, cultural events. Rumor has it if you stop in this month, the library and renew or get your new card, highly sophisticated Collins Library pen may be in your future. So, run, don't walk, the Collins Library. October 4th is the book festival. Poets, authors, used books. They are always looking for volunteers, especially for setups and for takedown. So if anybody's around that weekend, if any of our high schoolers need service hours, things like that, on the website, the Book Fest website has contact info, and if not, just email one of the 3 of us and we'll get you set up. Saturday the 6th, before you go to the grand opening of the Pocket Park from 9 to 10, Chief Joyce is going to be at the T-Ball concession stand at 9 a.m. for our night park cleanup that are first and third Saturdays. So keep that in mind. Our communications team posted about some openings on the Constant Food Pantry. They're looking for a treasurer and I believe one other volunteer position that would be, 2 to 5 hours a month. So a very low time commitment and people are looking for a way to get involved. We went over there just to say hello, see how it works. And it's one of our few food pantries in town. And so if you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, it's there as well. And that is it for me.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
These initial.